Welcome back to the Reverse Holographic video series. My name is KD. Today we're going to review planets in astrology to understand what they mean and how we can form a deep understanding of ourselves and the universe. Planets are important for several reasons when it comes to modern astrology. The planets rule over certain zodiac signs and provide understanding for more than just horoscopes. They correspond with elements on the periodic table used in chemistry. They represent lore and ancient religious figures such as gods and goddesses or heroes. They also may have a direct link to human behavior, social stimuli, and decision making. Can you discern whether this is true or not for yourself? I have here a list of the planets and what is generally accepted to be their roles and their domain in regards to modern Roman astrology. This list was derived from a list on an astrology website you can look up for yourself, and I will leave the link in the description. I'm not sponsored by this website, nor do I necessarily believe this is all 100% true information. However, take note that this channel is about discussion. So please leave your opinion or drop some facts in the comments if you agree or disagree with the information being presented today. So let's start with number 1, which is Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun in our solar system. This planet rules over the signs Gemini, Virgo, and sometimes Aquarius. Each sign has a planet that rules over it, but there are 9 planets and 12 signs, so some planets rule over more than one in some instances. The human behaviors linked to planet Mercury are thought and communication. Represented by the Roman deity also named Mercury, the messenger god. Maybe that's why Mercury is said to rule over communication. Unironically, this planet also represents the element Mercury in alchemy and on the periodic table. Your Mercury sign will usually be the exact same as your Sun sign due to its proximity. In the future, we will talk about retrograde and what that means, but for now let's move on to the planet Venus. Number 2, Venus. Venus is the name of a Roman goddess of love, beauty, and romance. This planet represents your finances and of course your romantic life. Venus is also referred to as Vesper, Phosphorus, Hesperus, or the morning star, aka the bright queen of the sky, seeing as it's the second brightest naturally occurring object in the sky at night other than the moon. The element this planet represents in alchemy and chemistry is copper. Let's move on to number 3, which is Mars. Naturally, the third planet from the Sun is the planet Earth, which we live on, but we don't have an Earth sign in our natal chart, so let's just move on to Mars for some more explanation. Mars represents the element iron in alchemy. This planet is associated with war and combat, just like the Greek god Ares. Mars rules over the sign Aries and is responsible for action, motivation, and confidence. You can tell a lot about someone based on where Mars was the moment they were born, like whether or not they are ambitious or lazy, for example. If you're like me, your Mars sign is Aries, which is the sign's dominant planet. So let's move on to number 4, which is Jupiter. Jupiter is named after the Roman god Jupiter and represented by the Greek god Zeus. Jupiter, the planet, is responsible for growth and learning when it comes to modern astrology. This planet dominates the sign Sagittarius and has to do with philosophy and ethics, seeing as, according to Wikipedia, the Roman god Jupiter was once the chief deity of Roman state religion throughout the Republican and imperial areas, until Christianity became the dominant religion of the empire. Depending on your Jupiter sign, you may be extremely prone to luck in certain aspects of your life pertaining to the house and sign Jupiter was found on your date of birth. Do you guys believe that you could be more or less lucky depending on where Jupiter was placed in your chart? Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. Number 5, Saturn. Saturn is one of 5 planets that is visible to the naked eye at night. It is named after Saturn, which is the father of the god Jupiter in Roman mythology, possibly because the two planets seem to have some similarities such as size and composition, according to the facts found on planets.com. Saturn also rules over Capricorn, and its contribution to human behavior is achievement, discipline, and success. Saturn could also be responsible for negative emotions and poor self-esteem. The element associated with this planet is lead, which holds an important role in alchemy, especially when it comes to the old belief that alchemists were attempting to turn lead into gold. But let's save the discussion on alchemy for another episode. I searched the significance of lead and the planet Saturn in alchemy, and it led me to symboldictionary.net, which states that alchemically, lead was the prima materia, or primal matter, and represented the putrefaction and decay necessary for new life. So in other words, Saturn represents endings and new beginnings in several aspects. Let's move on to number 6, which is the planet Uranus, also known as Uranus. Uranus is referred to as an ice giant due to its distance from the Sun being one of the farthest from it in our solar system. In Roman mythology, Uranus is associated with the Roman god Caelus, but in Greek mythology, it is associated with the Greek god Uranus, the father of Saturn. Uranus deals with sudden transformation, intuition, and the unexpected. The planet Uranus has an element named after it on the periodic table in chemistry known as uranium. Uranus has also inspired the likes of William Shakespeare to name his characters after the moons in Uranus's orbit. Number 7 is the planet Neptune. Neptune governs over our dreams, our inspiration, and our creativity. It also governs deception, confusion, and addiction. Neptune has an illusory sort of frequency to its designation over the people of Earth. It even moves too slow for you to be able to trust it. Neptune takes 164 Earth years to revolve around the Sun. It is the furthest of the true planets in our solar system from the Sun. Needless to say that it bears the exact same name as the Roman god Neptune, referred to in Greek mythology as Poseidon, the god of seas. But the planet Neptune is freezing. In fact, it reaches temperatures as low as negative 353 degrees Fahrenheit on the surface. So don't expect to go sailing on Neptune anytime soon. The planet's alchemical symbol is the trident, just like Poseidon owned, and it also has an element named after it known as Neptunium. Finally, number 8 is Pluto. Once referred to as the smallest planet in our solar system, Pluto underwent some changes in classifications over the years. The correct term for Pluto is now a dwarf planet. However, it may have been dwarfed in classification, but it still rules over the sign of Scorpio, and it can empower you, or it can make you feel powerless, depending on its placement in your natal chart. This planet in astrology also has to do with death and new beginnings, much like Saturn, especially because Pluto is named after the Greek god of the underworld. Pluto's element on the periodic table is known as plutonium, of course, which is known for its uses in production of dangerous nuclear weaponry. Okay, so by now you can tell that it's very clear that the planets have influenced creativity for centuries, but are they really capable of motivating people, influencing your thoughts, and promoting growth in any area of your life? Planets play a major role in chemistry and alchemy and represent spiritual and religious aspects as well. Often I wonder not if this information is true or not, but whether or what our ancestors wanted us to know about this practice of astrology and what we can become if we knew ourselves a little bit better. Does the influence of the planets on human affairs have to do with cosmic debris or dust from the planets in our solar system accumulating in our atmosphere? Does this cosmic debris fuse into our bloodstream when we breathe and cause us to respond emotionally and stir up our latent abilities? You should be the judge of whether or not you believe this is true. Everything I've presented to you can be located on Google, and if you want to see for yourself, I will include the links in the description for your convenience. Tomorrow, we can go further into the natal chart and see how they work and how to interpret them, so stay tuned and subscribe for more topics coming soon. Thanks, Truth Seekers, for joining me today. This has been KD from Reverse Holographic, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.